Okay, happy birthday, Deanna.
Yes, happy birthday, happy 50th birthday, daughter dear, and happy anniversary.
That's right,
Neil
25.
and Deanna too.
Yes.
25 years, my goodness.
We are so thrilled, Deanna, that you're here, and we're so thrilled that we could be here.
Yes, that we were able to participate too. It is, I've just been so aware this week of God's grace,
Yes.
just overwhelming grace.
Yeah, what a miracle it is that has happened over this last
Yeah.
7 years. And we had such a great weekend because of your party, and we had how many people from your family?
8.
8 people from the Morsted side, and
Yeah, we had a Morsted mini reunion.
that's right, at our house, and they were just thrilled, Deanna, that you and Neil and the girls came
Oh.
over.
That just made their afternoon.
That's
They were
right.
just thrilled to get that chance to talk to you.
Yeah, because we don't see each other. We saw it at Bob's funeral, and I think the other times David Morsted was saying was 1999 at the Morsted reunion at our cabin. So
It's quite amazing, and as I said to you, by you having such this joyful event and people so excited about coming and willing to drive long distances, like from Janelle from Bismarck and Penny and Dean from Grand Forks in Maryland and Alice from Fargo, that what you have done, what you created it just had a ripple effect. And the joy just kind of overflowed to all these people who wanted to come and be here. And as David Morsted said, he said it's so wonderful to get together for a happy event. It's such a celebration.
and we were so thrilled to hear our granddaughters sing.
Oh, yes.
It was just such a moving,
It was.
such a, to have the duet and then have Annika with her group. It was just, it couldn't have been better.
And then Country Roads, of course, we introduced you to that, and we're so happy you chose that as one of yours. John Denver's, we played that tape as we traveled out to the different national parks too.
When we had our Rocky Mountain highs.
I wonder, yeah, we probably were up in Banff area when we were playing that.
But without the drugs.
Yeah, that's right. Our high was just the national parks.
Now, 45 and a half years ago, you honored me by asking me to come over and babysit Deanna.
Really?
For, I don't know, yeah, really, yeah. For a couple of hours or something when she was,
45, when she was 5.
no, 49 and a half.
Oh,
49 and a half.
and a half, okay.
When she was just born. And you must have had something at church or something like that. And it was probably for an hour or two, and she slept the whole time, but I thought, that was pretty neat. And do you remember when she was born, kind of your reaction?
Remember when she was born.
I think we do.
We were so poor. We were so poor. Merv and your dad, Deanna, was earning $100 a month.
And a house.
And we got a house, that little tiny house in North Minneapolis, which was then a beautiful, tranquil community like a small town. And we got that, and it had 2 bedrooms, so we even had the luxury of having a nursery. And remember, you went out and got the most beautiful Christmas tree, and we put that up. I have no idea what we decorated it with because we didn't have any money, because I could not teach when I was pregnant and after, of course, you were born. And it was, but we were so happy. We just were, it was a beautiful, wonderful place. I used to hang out clothes in the back, little tiny backyard with one beautiful maple tree in it, and I put you in the clothes basket. And you just always wanted to be exploring, always. So I'm not surprised at all that you and Neil and your daughters have become explorers in earnest of all the national parks.
And we had one story that we were so poor, and by the end of the month we'd run out of money, and And one day we got a knock
Christmas?
on the door, and there's this wonderful meat market a block away, Johnson's Meat Market, and here they're from Johnson's delivers a package to us and say
Christmas
package. We thought this is great. I bet it's some steaks. We open it up and it's Fanny Farmer chocolates, 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Just what we needed.
Oh, our mouths just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a disappointment. Why don't they give meat instead of chocolate?
And you never liked to sit in your stroller, but everybody said, take her for a walk. She'll go to sleep. Not you, not you. You became more animated and you were just so interested, and you constantly, when we go for a walk with the stroller, you'd be all the time trying to get out of it.
And then we'd even go driving because that's the only way we could get her to go to
People
sleep.
would say, oh, they would say that, but that often didn't work either. But then when you gave up your naps, you were 2 years old, and you slept from 7 at night until 7 a.m. in the morning. And you were even organizing your life at that young age. So.
And one of our first guests, one of the first people at the door after we came home with Deanna was a guy, the priest down the street named Father Tom.
That's right.
And he showed up, and we saw him quite a bit in those days. He lived just a couple blocks away. So.
Now, listening to people over the last couple of hours, as I've talked to many of the people that have come, you can kind of see why Deanna wrote in her book and also talks so much about the strength that she gets from Gloria Day. These are the Gloria Day, the neighborhood, even Neil's partners and others, and just on and on and on. All the strength that she got from her community, and I'm sure that you've witnessed that as well.
Well, that's true, and I think she's always felt she's been a member of a community. At Prince of Peace, for instance, she was in that music group, and even in her theology now, even in your theology now, Deanna, I just think of, the body of Christ is such an important theme for you, and that that heaven will be communal, whatever it is. So that's a recurring theme with you, which I have come to appreciate much more too.
Yeah, and your 7-year sojourn with cancer has really brought that into full bloom. I mean, we knew it was there before, but this is, and the virtual body of Christ and the whole support systems that come to you from so many places, and they come to us too through that. So it's been
right.
An incredible journey of agony and ecstasy, but we're just so thrilled that we could be together at this time.
And you and Neil have shared your journey with so many others too. And I know I talked to a couple of people tonight. Oh, John Baldwin, your neighbor, who walked that 3-day cancer walk. He said that when he sat down with you and he had just met you, that it was the first time he had been able to talk about his wife's cancer to anybody. So I think you and Neil it would have been an easier road in many respects, probably, if you hadn't. And yet it was life-giving to you in the way that you shared. Through Caring Bridge, which of course your brother set up for you too, which has been so important, but also all your speaking that you do and writing.
And Deanna, your nieces have just told me that you'll hear as well, when they heard the news that Naomi came home, their children were telling this story, and they were in 4th grade, and on a December afternoon. And I remember getting your email and how crushing that was. So it's been a long 7 years, but a wonderful 7 years in many respects. Yeah.
Well, right, to get to 7 years is just
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, that first 6 months were, but anyway, we just are so thrilled, Deanna, that you're our daughter, and that we can all be a part of this. So thank you for being you.
Yep, joy overflowing, and you are two courageous people, Deanna and Neil.
Yeah,
We're so proud of you, but we're so thrilled for you, and thank you for including us in your lives. We love you much.
love you much.
Hey Dee, happy 50th. Thank you for choosing our house to have it. Quite memorable. Wish you many, many more years. It's so good to be here with the family and friends, and thank you for giving us the opportunity. Sorry I'm emotional, and love you. Happy birthday. Bye, Tia.
Okay, happy birthday, Deanna. Welcome to our house.
And-
Glad you could be part of the party.
And when did you meet Deanna? That's what I asked everybody.
You
else
asked her?
when I asked, yeah.
I can't remember.
Really?
Yeah, it was very early. Early on, and
Did she take care of you when you were young? And
she did.
Did she give you the lowdown on everything in life, or not? Or did she try?
She was helpful, yes. She was a good mentor when I was in my trying years.
I had an older sister who decided that she would mentor me. Sometimes when I didn't want to. Would that happen with you?
A little bit here and there, yes.
A little bit here. and
Yeah.
there. So what do you think about her reaching 50 almost?
It's amazing. Yeah, it makes me feel old, but it's great to see her healthy and doing great. So.
Yeah. And everybody has commented on your house as they've come in and wondered where this house came from. So what a treat it is for Deanna
It's
to
been
have her
great
party
to
here.
great to meet all of her friends from a lot of different areas, her school and church and everywhere else. So
Yeah.
it's a good collection of people.
And the people are gathering. So what is your name?
I'm Linnea.
Really? And
Yes.
how are you related to Deanna?
Annika and I were tempted to write "from the womb" on our name tags as an explanation of how we know Deanna. She's our mom.
Yeah. And so much has happened over the last, 21 years of your life. And tell some of the highlights of your time with your mom.
Last summer, the two of us went to Amsterdam. She was speaking at a conference, and she said that I could come along on the condition that I plan the trip. So that was my first foray into trip planning, and it gave me a lot of appreciation for all of the trip planning that she's done over the years. We've been on amazing family vacations every summer since I was 8, and Mom does pretty much all of the planning for that. So we just got back last week from Banff and Jasper National Parks in Canada, and that might be our last family vacation as such, but it's been a really good run, and Mom always does a really good job of planning those, and it's one of my favorite things that we do as a family.
I know that your mom has really relied upon you, especially in the last few years. What has that meant to you that you've been able to support her and help her during all of this stuff?
Annika's the cuddly one. Annika's the one you want around. And I think my role in a lot of it has been, well, at the worst of it, right after Mom's diagnosis, I saw my job as kind of stepping in and helping raise Annika, because neither of our parents really had all of the energy to do a lot of parenting at the time. But I think since then, yeah, I don't know what my role of support is. I ask factual questions and am no use, really.
I think from my standpoint, and just in talking with them, the fact that you are such an amazing young woman, and now I'm getting emotional too, but has made such a difference to them, because if you had been a rabble-rousing troublemaker, unfocused, on and on and on, think of the trauma that would have caused. But the fact that you really know values, and you know what's important in life, and you know how to love, that has just meant so much to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the put my head down and keep going child.
Yeah, you really are. So, yeah, any way back when, any funny moments that you remember about your mom through some of her 50 years?
I've been around for 20 of them. It's hard to be on the spot.
Or any joyous times that you had as a family, or you talk about vacations and other times too when you...
Yeah. Something really, I think, important that my mom has done that I didn't appreciate as being unusual until I got older was that most J terms she teaches a class called African American Religious Thought, and so she has always taken us to the governor's Martin Luther King Day celebration, which is this enormous gathering primarily of Minnesota's Black community, and there are keynote speakers. And I mean, when Ani and I were really little, we would go, and we would go to like the kids, like the, I don't know, basically the nursery, if we're making a church analogy, and there was a storyteller who would tell us African fables, but when we got older we would sit through the ceremony, and it was really amazing to see that many expressions of African American culture and dance and music, and the keynote speakers had really interesting things to say about race and racism and what still needs to be done in our society. And getting that exposure every year, I think, was really important, especially because a lot of our social circles are pretty white. And I really admire that she teaches that class almost every year, and that she is intentional about putting her students, a lot of whom are white, in this really overwhelmingly Black experience, and having us experience being the minority. And so that is something that I'm really impressed with and have appreciated.
Did you always know that your mom was as special as she is with all of these things that she's involved in, and the church and the AAR and theology and Hamlin and speaking and small groups? When did you first catch on that your mom was quite a unique individual?
I mean, I feel like for a long time I knew that she did those things, and I thought that it was normal and like everybody did those things. And so I think it's been a slow and probably still ongoing process of just looking back on things or realizing things that she's a part of and going, oh, not everybody does that. But I mean, yeah, as I got to be a teenager, got to be in high school and college, and have found myself being overcommitted and in leadership roles and all of that, it's meant more and more to me to see her as being that professional woman who does it all, and, you know, has a family, raises a family, and also is in the professional sphere and writes books and is on committees, and is active at church and all of those things. And yeah, I'm extremely impressed with her as a professional.
I think all of us parents would like our children to incorporate some of who we are. What do you hope to incorporate of your mom?
I mean, you say all parents would like their kids to incorporate parts of who they are. I think all kids go through the, oh my gosh, I sound like my mom process of growing up, where you realize you've incorporated a lot of who they are without necessarily meaning to. I'm thinking about Lutheran Volunteer Corps at the moment. I inherited my mom's love of Concordia language villages for sure. And I worked there for 2 summers and not this one, and I've really missed it, and I hope to go back next summer. So I think those are some of the things that I've gotten from her. But I mean, I can also just see her in my way of approaching the world, for better or for worse, probably some of both. So happy birthday, Mom, happy 50th, happy half century, and here's hoping that there will be many more.
Happy birthday, Deanna!
So, what do you think about your mom turning 50?
It's so exciting. I'm so happy you're 50, Mom. I don't even believe it because you don't look like you're 50 at all, but I'm really excited that you got here and that we all get to celebrate together.
Now, since you're an unusually brilliant child, you probably remember, what, being in the womb, or 1 year
Yes,
old,
of
or 2?
course.
What's your first memory
My first memory.
of your mom as a kid, or anything?
I remember going to church and sitting in the pews, and she would always bring me a snack. So I remember asking her for the snack every Sunday at church, and that's probably my first memories.
And then when you go to church now, then you get snacks too? Is
Yep.
that how they do
Still
it?
how it works,
So
yep.
still, but the snacks have grown
No.
better? No? And how do you see your role in the family as the second child here?
Well, we're really close.
You and your mom?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
we're
why
best
is
friends.
why is that? Best friends, why is that?
Well, we're very similar people. We do everything together. Like to go shopping, and just any time I can hang out with her is really great.
And has that always been, or has that developed, do you think?
Pretty
or
much.
You just connected?
Yeah.
Yeah. And during the last, 6, 7 years, you've gone through some hard times and some great times, and how have you survived all of that?
Just stick together as a family. We have a really great church community, really great communities with our school and our friends. But I mean, my mom's always been, you're always my biggest inspiration, so.
And then your mom has said many times how she couldn't have done it without your dad, without the two of you. What have you brought to her? She's brought a lot to you, of course, but what have you brought to her, do you think?
I remember that when she was sick, I would read books to her in bed. We'd read together. Back rubs, hugs. Anytime we could just watch a movie together, I could do anything to make her food or rub her back, make her feel better.
Now that's unusual, because a lot of young people, they try to get away from their parents and be independent, and
Yeah.
you've never felt that need to?
I have, I think, a good balance of time with friends and time with family.
Yeah, wow. And 1 more year now of you being at home.
Yep.
Do you think your mom and dad are going to be able to make it without the two of you
Yeah, I mean,
in the house?
I won't be too far away, so they can come visit. And I know my mom's gonna be really sad, but we'll be in touch. We'll see each other quite a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. And any wishes of joy for her in the future here?
A long, happy life ahead of us together.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hey Dee, just wanted to wish you a happy 50th birthday, and so thankful that we got to celebrate this. As you know, I've spent plenty of time thinking about big celebrations, family celebrations, and many of them, unfortunately, I thought about without you, and I'm so very thankful that we're able to celebrate this one together. And as my name tag says, I'm the lucky husband. And just want to wish you a happy birthday. Love you.
And do you remember when you first met?
I do. That's an unforgettable time for me, because it was an interview process where Deanna was the chair of the interview committee, and I felt myself ignoring the rest of the committee members, and I thought to the detriment of my interview, but I was definitely caught by her and staring intently at her, and probably made a fool out of myself the next couple of weeks trying to get her attention. She thought it was all about the position that I was interviewing for, but it had nothing to do with that. It was all that I was taking with her. And getting to spend the rest of my life with her has been the best decision that I made, and I'm so glad to be celebrating her 50th birthday.
So this was at St. Olaf, obviously.
This was at St. Olaf.
And almost love at first sight.
For me, yes. Unfortunately, she was dating somebody else at the time, actually. So I always refer to that as kind of the minor inconvenience, and that we had to just get over that. And fortunately, we did.
And I don't know if I can get through this next part, but during the last 6-7 years, I've been so very impressed with Deanna, of course, but I've been equally as impressed with you and the love that you've shown to your wife. So she is able to celebrate her 50th because of you.
Well, I don't want to take credit for that, but
and others. But,
I'm blessed to walk beside her every step, and will continue to do so.